Hello and welcome to our channel. We are delighted to have you with us and look forward to exploring interesting and valuable topics together that will help us all improve our lives on all levels. Today's topic, requested by a subscriber to our channel, is entitled, Change Starts with a Decision. By the end of the presentation, we will have understood the power of each decision and how it can be the first step in our personal transformation. We will have learned how to overcome doubts and make decisions with confidence, even when our lives seem to require radical changes. We will have understood that every moment is an opportunity for new choices, and that change is not something we expect to happen, but something we cause. By recognizing the importance of choice, we will be able to understand when and how to move forward at critical moments, whether they involve our work, our relationships, or our personal growth. We will be able to realize that real change comes not from the external environment, but from how we choose to view and deal with each situation. So let's start this journey towards self-awareness and change, step by step, with our first and most important decision. The power of decision, how a small choice changes lives. Decision is the first step towards any change. Every time we are called upon to make a choice, our world changes a little. Every decision, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, affects our lives in ways we can't always predict. At some point we may recognize that this small decision was the starting point for a fundamental change in our path. The power of the decision is that it has the potential to change the direction of our lives. When we decide to do something, take action, or leave old habits behind, we create a new path. Every decision shapes our path. Decisions can be conscious or unconscious, but even the smallest ones can cause chain reactions. The power of these decisions lies not in the choice itself, but in the acceptance and consistency we give it. When we make a decision, we begin to build our future, to shape the life we want to live. Often, it's the small choices that make the difference. A decision can be as simple as waking up early in the morning and starting the day with energy. This decision can lead to a more productive day, which in turn can bring positive results at work, in our relationships, and in our personal growth. Conversely, a decision to delay or postpone something can lead us into a series of procrastinating behaviors that create anxiety and delays in meeting our goals. It is important to understand that the power of a decision does not depend on the magnitude of the choice, but on the direction it gives to our lives. Even if the decision seems small or insignificant, it can be the starting point for a huge change. The constant repetition of these small decisions gradually builds the life we desire. If we choose to be accountable for our decisions and back them up with action, we create a path to success and personal fulfillment. What we need to realize is that change is not something that happens suddenly and magnificently. Rather, it happens through these small but significant moments in our daily lives. The power of decision lies in the feeling that we are in control of our own course. Every decision we make is an opportunity to redefine our direction. Our decisions are not just momentary actions, but the foundation of the everyday life we want to live. Over time, our decisions form our identity and shape our lives. We cannot control everything that happens around us, but we can choose how we react to it. This freedom to choose is our greatest strength. It is what allows us to change our lives, move forward, and become the people we want to be. Practice technique. To develop awareness of the power of choice, follow this technique. Each day, choose one small decision that can improve your day. It can be something as simple as starting your day with a positive thought, or taking 5 minutes to organize your work. Each time you make a decision, make a small record at the end of the day, and think about how that decision helped you improve your day. Over time, you will realize that these small decisions make up the biggest change in your life. From caution to action, the brave moment of change. Caution is a natural reaction that many of us experience in the face of the idea of change. It is the sense of uncertainty and fear of the unknown that holds us back and prevents us from moving forward. It is this internal emotional break that tells us to wait, think, analyze more before making the decision to move forward. Caution is common in every phase of life, especially when we are at a crossroads and are called upon to make important decisions. But the fact is that caution is not always negative. On the contrary, it can be helpful in many situations. It helps us to think about the consequences of our actions and to prepare for the changes that are coming. However, too much caution can prevent us from taking action, keep us stuck, and cause us to miss valuable opportunities. The critical point is to recognize when caution has crossed the boundaries of healthy inhibition and turn it into an active decision. The truth is that the big change, the one that can transform our lives, usually starts with a bold decision. The moment when we decide to move beyond fear and uncertainty, to let go of doubt and take action. This moment is pivotal because it's where we realize that action is more important than analysis. It is the moment when we take responsibility for our future and decide to wait no longer. We decide to take the first step, to move from caution to action. Moving from caution to action requires courage. Courage to acknowledge uncertainty and face it. To accept that there is no perfect time or perfect circumstances to do something important. All great steps towards change require overcoming the fear of failure and letting caution give way to action. It's not easy, but this process is vital to personal growth and the realization of our goals. The brave moment of change usually comes when we understand that the real opportunity is in the action, not in the thinking or waiting. It is action that creates real progress and the one that moves us closer to success and fulfillment. It takes courage to tell ourselves that it's time to stop thinking and start doing. It takes courage to let go of the doubts and focus on what we can do today, now, to move forward. Moving from caution to action does not mean that we will not face difficulties or failures. Rather, it means that we have the strength to keep going, even when things don't go as we expected. Real change comes when we decide to move forward, to take the first step without allowing fear to hold us back. This brave moment of change is a decision that can lead us to new experiences, new opportunities, and a more fulfilling future. Every time we take that first step, we begin to build the life we want. Every decision to take action, even if it seems small or insignificant, brings us closer to our goals and helps us overcome our own limited perceptions. Practice technique. To help transition from caution to action, try the following exercise. Each time you feel cautious about something, write your thoughts down on a list. Then, for each thought of doubt or fear, write down an action you can take to overcome it. Don't focus on perfection, but on action. Instead of analyzing each step for hours, take action with small daily actions that help you move forward. Over time, the habit of action will become more natural and help you overcome caution. Moment recognition. When is the right time to act? Our lives are full of moments that call us to make decisions. However, recognizing the right moment to act is one of the most important and often overlooked steps in the process of change. We often wait for the perfect moment, the right moment that will guarantee that we will achieve the desired outcome. However, the truth is that the right time is usually now. Recognizing that moment requires an open mind, awareness, and self-esteem. Recognizing the moment for action begins with the acceptance that there's not always an ideal time. Many times, what prevents us from acting is uncertainty about whether it is the right time. If we wait for the perfect combination of circumstances, years can go by without taking the first step. The truth is that opportunities don't wait. Life is constantly evolving and moments pass, never knowing if they will ever return. The time for action is now, and understanding this reality is the first step to moving forward. Often, recognizing the right moment doesn't mean waiting for something external to confirm that the time is right. Instead, it is an internal realization that it is time to take responsibility for our lives and move forward. Fear of the unknown or worry about failure is usually what causes us to delay the decision. However, if we accept that action is the only tool we have to create change, then there is no better time than the present to get started. Our sense of now does not always arise from external circumstances, but from our inner state. When we feel ready to take action, no matter how insecure or uncertain we feel, then it is the right time. It is the moment when we understand that our action is not perfect, but it is necessary to create the change we desire. Acknowledging this moment is essentially accepting that our action is the means to bring us closer to our goals, rather than waiting for the perfect condition. Remarkably, many times the right moment for action is linked to trusting ourselves. When we believe in our worth and are aware of our potential, we understand that any moment is the right time to move forward. Recognizing the moment is not an external condition, but an internal awakening that tells us that we should not wait for the perfect circumstance. Instead, we must move forward, act, and adjust our course as we evolve. Acting at the right time requires us to overcome our doubts and fears. Only then do we understand that now is the moment that will bring us closer to becoming who we really want to be. Action is not something we expect to come with a great inspiration or a miracle. Instead, it is the decision to move forward, take action, and create the life we desire. Recognizing the moment is essentially realizing that every moment is the right place to act. Change begins with the decision to recognize the opportunity and take the first step in the direction we want to go. This decision may not come with fanfare or epic moments, but with our inner realization that our action is the key to creating the future we desire. Practice technique. To help identify the right moment for action, use the following exercise. Whatever you feel cautious or put something off, stop and ask yourself, what is preventing me from taking action? Then write down the 3 key doubts or fears that are holding you back. For each of these doubts, write down a small action you can take to overcome it. This exercise will help you recognize that action does not require perfect conditions, but is the first step toward change and progress. Creating new habit, how change becomes everyday life. Creating a new habit is one of the most important processes in personal growth and in achieving our goals. A habit can have the power to change the way we live, think, and act. The truth is that change is not always easy, but real progress comes when we manage to turn what initially seemed like a simple decision into a daily habit. What it takes is perseverance, strategy, and above all, consistent action. The process of creating a new habit starts with the decision to do something different, to change something in our lives. This first step is critical because it determines our direction. However, real change does not happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and most importantly, consistency. A new way of thinking or acting requires new neural connections to be made in our brain. These connections are not created overnight. It takes repetition and conscious effort to establish a new habit. To be able to incorporate a new habit into our lives, we must first understand the power of repetition. When we repeat something enough times, we create a pathway in our brain that makes this behavior easier and more natural. This is because habits affect the functioning of our brain. A new habit, at first, requires more concentration and effort, but as we repeat it, it becomes more automatic and less demanding in terms of energy and thought. One of the most important factors in creating a new habit is to start with small and achievable steps. If we want to develop an exercise habit, for example, it is most effective to start with small workouts and gradually increase the duration or intensity. When we start with a small goal, we are more likely to feel success and stay motivated to continue. Conversely, if we try to make an overly abrupt change without considering the process, frustration is likely and can lead to giving up the effort. Everyone has their own pace and needs. It's important to recognize that change takes time and to be patient with ourselves. Support from our environment can also play a key role in the success of creating a new habit. When we share our goals with others or participate in a community that encourages change, the process becomes easier and more enjoyable. Shared effort and mutual support help create a positive dynamic that strengthens our resolve to stay consistent and overcome obstacles. When we manage to incorporate a new habit into our lives, this change begins to become part of our daily routine. It's not something we have to think about all the time or try hard to maintain. The habit becomes natural and effortless, and it is then that we can see the real results of our efforts. Our daily routine begins to slowly change as new habits lead to positive changes in our lives. Creating a new habit is not only a process of internal growth, but also an opportunity to better understand ourselves and our potential. Every time we try to create something new, we have the opportunity to evolve and become the best versions of ourselves. Every small step we take towards creating a positive habit is a step closer to the change we desire. Practice technique. An effective technique for incorporating a new habit is to use the 3-day rule. If you decide to create a new habit, try to repeat it for 3 consecutive days without interruption. Each time you complete the action, write it down in a diary or habit log. If you manage to do it for 3 days, do it for 3 more and keep repeating it. With repetition, the habit will begin to become integrated into your life and become more natural. Detachment from the old self. Beginning the journey of self-discovery, letting go of the old self is one of the most powerful and liberating processes in the journey of personal growth. We have all gone through moments or periods in our lives that have defined us, taught us important lessons, and shaped who we are today. However, there are times when we realize that old habits, limiting beliefs or fears that we have adopted are holding us back and preventing us from moving forward towards the best version of ourselves. Letting go of the old self doesn't mean denying our past or rejecting our experiences, but freeing ourselves from the weights that keep us stuck and making room for our evolution. The first step in this process is the recognition that change is necessary. Sometimes, we can live under the illusion that the way we are now is the only way we can exist. However, over time, our circumstances, needs, and desires change. Holding the same perceptions of ourselves and our lives can prevent us from moving forward. If we want to evolve, we must understand that change is inevitable and necessary for our personal growth. Letting go of the old self usually involves letting go of fears, insecurities, and negative beliefs that we have formed over the years. These can be fears of failure or rejection, beliefs that we don't deserve better or that we don't have the ability to change our lives. These thoughts keep us bound to a past that no longer serves us. Releasing these negative thought patterns is the first step in beginning the journey of self-discovery and personal rebirth. This process requires awareness and self-awareness. To release the old self, we must first recognize who we really are and what our dreams and desires are. What do we really want out of life? What makes us happy and satisfied? Many times, the answer to these questions is not obvious because we are used to following the standards imposed on us or following the expectations of others. However, when we decide to follow the path of self-discovery, we begin to realize our true desires and needs. Releasing the old self does not happen all at once. It is a process that takes time and commitment. It requires the ability to forgive ourselves for past mistakes and accept that failures do not define who we are, but are simply part of the process of learning and evolving. As we let go of the negative elements of our past, we make room for new opportunities and new possibilities. It allows us to start again and define for ourselves the path we want to take. The journey of self-discovery is one of constant renewal and growth. Every step we take towards releasing the old self is also a step closer to our true nature. When we fully accept ourselves, without fear of our weaknesses or imperfections, we can live with greater confidence and inner peace. Letting go of the old self is not the end, but the beginning of a new journey full of possibilities and potential. Accepting the old self with love and understanding is the key to moving forward. We don't need to reject our past, but accept it and let it guide us into the future with wisdom. Every experience, every setback, every joy or disappointment is a precious part of the self that has shaped us. To begin the journey of self-discovery means accepting all of these pieces and using them to build a new, more conscious and authentic self. Practice technique. To begin the process of letting go of the old self, write a letter to yourself, outlining the beliefs and habits that are holding you back. Then write down the steps you plan to take to let them go. This process will help you realize which elements of your personality need to change and begin the process of letting go with greater clarity and awareness. Epilogue. We all have the power to make a life-changing decision. No matter how simple or difficult it may seem, every decision is a new beginning, an opportunity to move forward. Remember, change is not something that comes from outside of us, but from within us. If we take the first step boldly and confidently, we can conquer our desires, develop our skills, and improve every area of our lives. Change begins with a decision, and each decision brings us closer to the life we wish to live. So let's resolve to create the future we want, step by step, with faith in ourselves and our dreams. We are ready to take action and transform our lives into something better.
Σας ευχαριστούμε που παρακολουθήσατε αυτό το βίντεο και αφιερώσατε χρόνο στη δική σας ευημερία. Η υγεία και η ευημερία δεν είναι μόνο η απουσία προβλημάτων, αλλά η ενεργητική φροντίδα όλων των πτυχών της ζωής μας. Από την οικονομική σταθερότητα και την αυτοφροντίδα μέχρι την προσωπική ανάπτυξη και τη διαχείριση των στόχων μας. Θυμηθείτε, η ευημερία είναι ένα ταξίδι και όχι προορισμός. Κάθε μικρή αλλαγή που κάνετε Κάθε θετική συνήθεια που ενσωματώνετε και κάθε στόχος που θέτετε συμβάλλει στην επίτευξη μιας ισορροπημένης και γεμάτης ζωής. Εφαρμόστε τις στρατηγικές που συζητήσαμε, προσαρμόστε τις στις προσωπικές σας ανάγκες και παρακολουθήστε τη ζωή σας να μεταμορφώνεται προς το καλύτερο. Αν έχετε απορίες ή θέλετε να μοιραστείτε την εμπειρία σας, αφήστε ένα σχόλιο παρακάτω. Θυμηθείτε να εγγραφείτε στο κανάλι μας για περισσότερα βίντεο που θα σας βοηθήσουν να ζήσετε μια πλήρη και ευτυχισμένη ζωή. Μέχρι την επόμενη φορά, φροντίστε τον εαυτό σας και να είστε καλά. Thank you for watching this video and dedicating time to your own well-being. Health and well-being are not just the absence of problems, but the active care of all aspects of our lives, from financial stability and self-care to personal development and managing our goals. Remember, well-being is a journey, not a destination. Every small change you make, every positive habit you incorporate, and every goal you set contributes to achieving a balanced and fulfilling life. Apply the strategies we discussed. Adapt them to your personal needs and watch your life transform for the better. If you have any questions or want to share your experience, leave a comment below. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more videos that will help you live a full and happy life. Until next time, take care of yourself and be well.